So my name is Melissa, and I wanted to share my story about how I started on my path being a magical practitioner, how I discovered my gifts, some of my practices. It's going to be a little series. For me, it started when I was probably about 5 or 6, and I was at my grandparents' with my parents and my brother. I was talking and walking around with my dad and my grandpa, and we passed a photo of my grandparents on the wall. Normal photo, they're smiling. My dad and my grandpa walk out of the room, and I look back at the photo, and it's just an image of my grandfather's head kind of floating in the photo, and he just looked angry and lost and scared, and his hair was all wild and messed up, and he had this strange look in his eye. In the background of the photo was fluctuating between red and blue with these wavy white lines going through it. A few years later, he developed Parkinson's disease, and that really affected his mental health, and he couldn't think for himself or even care for himself. And that was me having a premonition in that photo of him getting Parkinson's disease. A few years later, I was probably about 5 or 6 at the time of that photo incident. A few years later, probably was 6 or 7, I would wake up to feel the popcorn ceiling on my face, and I would have vivid dreams of seeing like the universe outside the window, outside the door, like I could see all the Milky Way and the galaxies and the stars, and there was no people, no buildings, no cars, and I was scared. I was 6 or 7 years old, maybe 8 years old, and I'm seeing all this, and I kept being drawn to these windows and doors, and I was afraid to go near there, thinking that I would be sucked out there into the vortex and get lost. I found out later that I was astral projecting, which was causing me to levitate, and it would happen to me over and over and over again. And it was a long time before I understood what was happening to me. But that's how I started, and ever since then I've been able to have some pretty clear premonitions that always come true, and it's exciting now. It can still be scary. I'm 50 years old now, but that's how it started for me, and I will share more details about the experience later on in different stories, and I hope this helps somebody.